What if the next level of peace in your life isn't hidden in something you need to start, but it's something you finally were ready to stop?
Hello and welcome to the Encourager Podcast, where we talk about real life and real systems so you can joyfully harmonize both home and work. I'm your host, Rebecca Scott. I'm a wife, mom, designer, coach, and lifelong systems thinker. And I help overwhelmed women build simple, sustainable rhythms that actually work for their real lives. Around here, we talk about priorities, pre-decisions, and practical tools that bring peace instead of pressure. Because you don't need more hustle, you need better systems and more grace. Today's episode is a good one.
Hello, encouragers. On this week's podcast, I'm going to talk about 8 habits worth breaking. Now, these are my 8 habits that I am working on breaking. What would yours be? Because sometimes we're like, oh, we're going to create a habit. We're going to make a new system. We're going to do and do and do. What happens if we actually quit and quit? What would it look like to just break off something that was no longer serving us when we started to reflect on what it actually means? So these are some of the habits that I know for myself I need to break. Sometimes growth isn't about adding one more habit. Sometimes growth is finally admitting what needs to go. We talk so much about building habits, morning routines, water intake, gratitude journals, a new system, but some of the biggest breakthroughs in my life came when I decided to stop things. Not because they were even evil or dramatic or not Christian or anything like that, but because they were slowly costing me something. And today I want to share these 8 habits I'm personally trying to break, and maybe you'll recognize a few of them for yourself as well. Number 1, extra things in my tea. Okay, I am an avid tea drinker, but for you, you might be an avid coffee drinker. Well, at my age, we need to add collagen and we need to add all the fixins. I actually only add collagen, but I was talking to a friend who's like, they have 3 things that they add to theirs, and I can't say them right. Otherwise, we'd all get the giggles. It's like gluta something and all this stuff. She's like, I just put it in my tea, then I have it done for the day. And while I am a big believer in supplements, I just got tired of a multi-step system yet again. It's like, my skincare feels multi-step. Some of my other systems, I'm like really trying to just simplify and maybe even possibly embrace aging. So I was like, I'm not going to put extra things in my tea. I'm going to let my tea be my tea. Now, I still always have my tea with honey, and only in the morning cup am I allowed to have a little half and half, and I love to use my frother for it. But otherwise, throughout the day, no honey, no sugar, no collagen, no half and half, just the tea bag and boiling water, because those sort of calories, for one, will creep up, steps will creep up, and it just creates more time and stuff than we need. And sometimes it's a distraction for maybe just being still, asking God to fill in the space and not using yet another checkout point, but rather tuning into what does my body, what does my mind, what does my spirit actually need right now. So I'm cutting out the extra things in my tea. Number 2, negative self-talk. Now, this is no big aha. A lot of us are not aware, though, if you really think about it, are not aware of how negatively you do talk to yourself. Even though I'm the encourager, I've got some habits with the negative self-talk that I have got to break. One of them for me that I say frequently is, I'm behind. Well, no, that is an old message that no longer applies. Maybe one of yours is that you're bad at it. I've said that a few times with math in particular. Here are some examples of phrases. I haven't said this one in a while, but I know several people always say this, is that I always mess this up. And that's not fair because I always challenge them on the word always. So I'm going to stop and break the habit of negative self-talk by remembering the Bible verse from 2 Corinthians 10:5. We take captive every thought. And here's where I put that verse. I put it by my desk because that's where I tend to feel the least smart when I'm checking emails or problem solving. I don't know why. It just creeps up on me that I'm not smart enough to do this. And so I put that Bible verse there, that I will take captive every thought. And then I also put this Bible verse on the fridge so the kids can see it as well when they're talking negative about themselves, or they're retelling a story during food prep or whatever, and I'm listening to them. I'm going, hey, let's stop right there. You know that is not true of you. And we need to take captive every thought. And you just spoke that out loud. So let's talk about it. So I like to put it in both a family situation and a work situation. I'm going to stop the negative self-talk. Another one I'm really commonly saying lately, I have to stop, is that I'm overreacting or that I'm too much. And the truth is I might be overreacting, but saying it aloud several times does not help me figure out why I do have such strong emotions around it. Saying I'm overreacting is not breaking it down for me at all. It's like, okay, I'm feeling a lot of things right now. Let me be able to break it down. That is way more helpful than I'm overreacting and I'm too much. That doesn't serve me at all. Another one, I hate this. I am really tough on the kids about the word hate because I think it's murder in the heart, which is also an exaggeration, but it helps frame it up for them. But I didn't realize how often I say it for myself. It's like, oh, I hate this part. I'm like, wait, what? That's not okay either. And in a way, it is negative. And so I want to figure out how to stop saying, I hate whatever it is. It's usually not a person, thank the Lord, but it might be a method in my work. It might be something even with like home life where I'm like, gosh, I hate doing the towels or whatever it is. So every time I hear the word hate, I'm making it a trigger word that's like, nope, unpack this and reverse this. Number 3, treating myself all the time. I don't know about you guys, but in the wintertime, I'm terrible about this. I don't know if it's because we are so cold where I live in the Midwest that it's like, oh, I just need another cup of tea, or I just need a few M&Ms. I did make it through whatever, but I found myself treating myself, even if it wasn't food and drink related, it might have been like 5 extra minutes of scrolling or whatever. I was treating myself consistently where it got to be a habit, not a reward, not something I even earned. It was just becoming such a habit. Maybe it was scrolling Amazon for organizing things. Did anybody just raise their hand alongside me? I love doing that. No, I have to like stop treating myself all the time to these things because it just doesn't do me any good and it takes up time. Sometimes we use tiny treats to survive a life that actually just needs a system instead. And so what I did learn with this treating myself all the time is that I didn't do very well with transitions, meaning I would record a podcast and then I would grab my phone as just a brain break. For what though? That was a transition. I should have put the paper down, got onto my writing mode, outlined the podcast after I recorded it, thought through the videos that I would record instead of doing it. So I realized I tended to treat myself when it was actually because I was avoiding a transition from this part to this part. And so just concentrating on that helps me to reduce all that treating myself.
Hey, encouragers, hope you're enjoying this episode. We'll be right back after this short break. This episode of The Encourager is brought to you by Rebecca Scott Designs, where we create thoughtfully designed purses and accessories that support your real life, not just your outfit. Every bag is designed with intention, handcrafted right here in South Dakota, and built around the belief that beauty and function should work together. From custom fabrics and linings to leathers, zippers, and really cool features, you get to design a piece that truly fits your life. Visit designyourownbag.com to create your own custom bag and use code ENCOURAGER for $10 off your purchase.
Habit number 4 that I am breaking is checking email past 8 p.m. Okay, guys, especially in the summer, you can make it 5 p.m. if you want, but let's stop checking our email past a certain time. First of all, your brain starts activating. Your eyes stare at the blue light. It could be soothing for some. I would really have to have somebody make that argument for me, but I know for myself, I just get into problem solving mode and then I can't relax. And then I'm looking at my inbox and I feel like it's cluttered, even if it may not be. So it's not a good idea. So I've just set an alarm that shuts my phone down at a certain hour so that I can no longer check that email. I will check it in the morning. I don't respond in the best way possible or with the best solutions. And so it's a habit I'm going to break. No more checking email past 8 p.m. Habit number 5 that I'm going to break, mindless social media time. Now, I have 2 brands, so I do have to do social media. It is a necessary thing that I have to do. However, I found myself just getting on it again, sometimes during transitions times and sometimes as a little treat, and it's useless. The majority of the time, unless I'm feeling encouraged, which I do love any of the accounts that I feel encouraged or inspired or like problem solving, like life hacks and work hacks. I like that stuff. But the majority of it was either ads or things that really helped with the negative self-talk, like, especially because I'm targeted for so many like skincare and hair care and all this stuff. I just started getting in my head. And then it was like, oh, I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this. And maybe this is happening for me. So I was like, whoa, we got to stop this. So I had my timer set for 30 minutes a day for social media. I have narrowed it to 20 minutes because it just gets to be mentally really tough for me. And so I'm not going to be accidental scrolling anymore because for number 1, it steals my creativity. And I don't want to keep comparing myself, overstimulating myself, or having all this fragmented focus because I'm grabbing for my phone. So I'm going to break that habit. Habit number 6, depending only on devotional books. I love devotional books. Devotional books served a great purpose in my life for probably at least 10 years when I was raising the kids when they were little. But the more I dig into my Bible and the more I understand the stories in there, the more I just want straight Bible. And so I do have some devotional books that I recommend. They're on our Encourager Amazon page as well, you guys. And so I still use those as supplemental, but not daily. I bet I refer to my devotional books probably once, twice a week, but that's it. Other than that, it's the Bible. I want the truth. I want to really understand the stories for myself. I do always pair it with the Bible recap. So if that's considered a devotional, then that I do probably 5 to 7 days a week. But as far as like a nice little story and some notes about how it was affected, I only do that about 1 or 2 times a week. I want to get right into my Bible. I want to get the clarification there. I want to learn what I can straight from God's word. Habit number 6. I'm working on this. I am a work in progress, just like all of us out there. So I'm stalling to tell you what it is, but it's gossip. Not just mean gossip. I'm talking about, because thankfully throughout time, I've really worked on that because everything will come back to you. I truly, truly believe that. Like the words that you say out loud will just come back to you, especially in today's age of the phone. So I try to always be encouraging, but I'm talking about gossip in the form of like over processing people where you're like, gosh, how did I react? How did they react? And then you just consistently think about it over and over and over processing it. I feel like that's kind of a form of gossip, and it's not aiding anybody any good. And gossip can disguise itself as concern when you're talking amongst friends. You know, if you've ever heard any of those fun church memes where they're like, well, you know, we need to pray for Karen. And then they say whatever the gossip is, it doesn't work like that. I mean, it's just not making you better than Karen because you are praying for her. You say that first before you tell about the gossip. And so just being really careful with holding my tongue against any gossip, whether someone is telling me gossip, whether I'm going to share it as gossip or whatever it is, just really guarding my tongue against any form of gossip. Also, because I'm raising 3 beautiful daughters, that I want to make sure that people do not call them gossips and that they know how detrimental it will be to their mental health. Habit number 8 that I am breaking is picking up after family members. Guys, my kids are 11 and above, so I am in a stage where I should not be picking up after my family members, but sometimes I do it just so that I can get it done. Because you guys know out there, if you've listened to me for a hot minute, I like to time everything. So I know that pickup time only takes about 20 minutes before everything is picked up and I can relax a little bit. Well, guess who else has figured that out? My entire family. Guess who has also figured out that mom gets it done in a jiffy. All we got to do is just make sure she gets it done. I think, not all the time. So I'm breaking that habit because I'm just enabling them not to learn how to take care of their own things. I think it's like serving them, but I think that's just more or less Christianese language for like, oh, I'm just going to take care of it for now. No, I'm enabling them to know how to litter in their own homes. I get a little snarky on it, but I'm like, no, I have to stop that, because what also happens is I start quietly resenting them, and I don't want to do that either. So I'm going to stop picking up after family members. I'm going to remind them kindly to pick up after themselves, and we can do it together. That's it. Those are the habits that I am currently breaking. What I would love to see is you guys tune into our Instagram on the Encourager podcast and tell me what habits you're thinking about. I know we talk about things to add to our plate or things to create systems around. This week, I want you to break habits. What are you going to let go of? I would love to know what those are. And if some of these resonated with you, please, by all means, pick 1, 2, 3, 8 of them. Whatever makes sense for you in this stage of life. What is one of them that you're like, yeah, you just gave me permission. I'm going to stop doing that. And I would love to. Then we can hold each other's hands when it starts to flare again and remind ourselves that, no, we did in fact break that habit. What if the next level of peace in your life isn't hidden in something you need to start, but it's something you finally were ready to stop? Until next time, encouragers, we've got this because he's got us.
If this podcast has encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a 5-star review. It truly helps more women find these conversations. And if you're listening thinking, I don't need more motivation, I need someone to help me figure out my actual life, that's exactly what I do. Through Encourager Academy and one-on-one coaching, I help women build personalized systems for their home, work, and life rhythms. No cookie-cutter routines, but structures that fit your unique personality, your season, and your capacity. You can explore the Academy or book a free discovery call at theencouragerpodcast.com. Let's take your next small step forward together.